The commies are winning, but it's not over yet. So I want to share something with you here. I'm reading this book by my man Richard Easterlin, and he shows in the late 40s and 50s and 60s, going all that 20 years, the marriage rate among men in their basically 20 to 34, dude, bird almost ran into me, was almost 80%. All right, so the marriage rate for men aged 20 to 24, 24 to 30, 25 to 30, 30 to 34, was upwards of 80%. Not quite there, depends on what age group specifically, but it's certainly in the high 70s to the high 60s to low 70s, unequivocally. I just drove by that guy yesterday. What is it now? The marriage age for 30 to 34 is 48%. The marriage age for 25 to 29 is 23%. Why do I say the commies are winning? Because what's the one thing communists hate more than God? The one thing they hate more than God is the family unit. Why do you think BLM, Black Lives Matter, on their website, they said, we are a Marxist organization trying to destroy the nuclear family. And this is what they used to say. Then they got called out for it, so they took it down. And people like, they never said they did, dude. It's absolutely. The commies hate the family. Why do you think there's so much in communism? If you don't know your history of commies, you're just wrong. About Mao, about Stalin, about Honecker in East Germany, where they wanted the propaganda of well, basically Hitler used, but this is the Red Guards and whatnot, to go against the parents. They had the education monopoly. They said, you will educate your kids in our state school and they will learn the communist way. And the first thing they're going to do is that if our parents aren't bought into the commie way of life sufficiently, they're going to narc on them, and we're going to come to your door and basically throw your parents in the gulag. Happens all the time. So communism never took hold here in the United States. It never did, because people say, yeah, we don't like that crap. So what they do instead? Well, very sneaky, these people. They made it so you had to send your kids to public school, right? And the public school is an indoctrination camp for the state. Our model is based on the Prussian model, basically 1890s and 1880s and whatnot, which is all for the state, nothing against the state, to quote Mussolini. We're fascist. So what happened? A family unit breaks down. But it didn't break down that suddenly, did it? Now, we were all for the state, nothing against the state for many, many years. But we weren't breaking down the family. So the family was still priority. Remember, God, family, country. All right? And that's what's going on here. So family comes before country. And as such, they said, man, even if I like the Marxist stuff, I can't get these people away from loving their family. What do I do? Well, inherently, you break up the family. And the family unit is being destroyed right in front of our very eyes. It's been like this in the black community for going back to the 1960s. They've done a wonderful job of destroying the black family. And they're doing a good job destroying the white family as well. And one of the ways they do it, frankly, is with free trade. And this is why Marx was all for free trade. Karl Marx, he loved free trade because he knew ultimately it'd break up the family unit, and it would make people more in terms of favoring labor. Now, Marx was for the working class, supposedly. Marx is a rich boy, but still. And now the Marxists they don't care about the working class; they care about the elite class. But anyway, at the end of the day, they say we got to make it so expensive for the family to basically raise children that they won't even bother getting married. They won't even bother getting married. And if they don't get married, they're not going to have children. And we're going to have abortion. And we're just going to basically say, hey, we're going to have all kinds of porn. Why do I blame free trade for this? Because free trade made it so that working people could not afford a house and to raise children. But I thought free trade was going to lower prices. It did on TVs. It did on software. I get you, on computers and stuff. But it did not, but we got rid of our manufacturing base. Absolutely. Oh, there's more manufacturing today. Not from jobs, dude. They're just not. I hear this argument all the time. We're still producing stuff. Yeah, we are. But the people aren't there to do it. And I'm sitting there saying, so they destroyed the family unit by making it more expensive to purchase a home, making it more expensive to raise children. We know this. And as such, people are saying, I'm just not going to get married. They made it easier for porn. They made it easier for fast food and stuff, so you don't have a woman at home to raise your children. It's absolutely disgusting. Do I attribute all that to free trade? Of course not. But at the end of the day, if you look at the median wages since free trade really took off in the late 70s relative to today, the median wages has basically stagnated, just kept up with inflation, that's it. Yet the price of a house has gone through the roof. The price of raised children have gone through the roof. And as such, you can't really raise children unless you're somewhat wealthy. I mean, it's weird today. My man Owen Benjamin says this best. He goes, it's funny because he's a farmer with 4 kids and his wife stays home. Used to be that would be considered poor white trash, and now that's considered wealthy. And it's the same thing for me. I got 4 kids. My wife stayed home for the bulk of our children's time, and you can only do that if you're wealthy now. You can't do that as a poor guy anymore. You just can't. And it's crazy how things have changed now. Oh, it must be nice to be able to have 4 kids, a wife stay home and live out on the farm. And 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that was completely opposite. Now, why is there still hope? Well, obviously, if you're a Christian, there's always hope, because you know how the story ends and there's no reason to be despondent. But there's hope because the youngins coming up, like the 18 to 29-year-olds. These guys are legends, dude. I'm telling you right now. They don't buy into the propaganda. These guys are saying, no, we're sick of this crap. The white guilt, the anti-masculinity stuff. We're sick of this crap. And they want I don't know. I can't say that. I was getting ready to say they want families and children. I don't know that to be true. But they're saying, no, we're not putting up with this anymore. You guys can go pound sand. We're independent. And they're just going to crush. A lot of these guys aren't even going to college. Now, how they're going to meet their wife, I don't know. Hopefully through the church or something like that. But they're our rescue. They're our rescue generation. But I'm Gen X. The millennials, those guys are pretty much lost, dude. And that doesn't mean they're all evil or bad people or anything like that. This road is closed there. Okay, road closed. Well, it doesn't look like it's closed now, does it? But I'm just saying, they unfortunately, hopefully they're the last of the generation that bought into just live for now, it's all good, have sex, look at porn, have abortions, don't get married, the kind of the old 1960s, it's all about me, the narcissist, it's all about me. Hopefully these are the last of the generation. Are there many millennials that are crushing? Absolutely. It just seems like the bulk of them are not. It seems like the bulk are very narcissistic, very self-centered. And as such, those are people, if you're going to be self-centered, it's hard to raise a family. And simply due to the fact that you can't be self-centered and be married very successfully because of the fact that you have to put yourself second behind your family. Not rocket science there, but anyway. So I'm hopeful. I'm cautious, but I'm hopeful. But at the end of the day, the family unit is what makes our society free and strong. And as the Marxists take over more and more, they've ruined the family unit. And as such, the communists are winning. And we've got to freaking correct. If not, it's going to be bad. But I think we are. I do think we are. Not only the younger generation, I think more and more people are waking up to the absurdity of a communist Marxism, Black Lives Matter, the LGBT silent Q, silent P generation, whatnot. I think they're waking up to this and saying, no, this stuff is crazy. We need to go back. Now, the question is easy to say when you're freaking living high on the hog. With those same people, because things will get more expensive some regard if we get rid of free trade to the extent that we've had. I mean, it's just a fact. You're going to have to pay more for some things. There's no two ways around that. On some things, not all things. And it would be a short-term hurt for a long-term gain. But at some point, people are saying, oh, my goodness, I didn't know I had to pay an extra 50% for TVs. We'll talk about this in the next video, too, about this insanity of free trade makes products always lower price. You're like, nah, does it? Anyway, I'll talk about that with washing machines here in just a second. Next video, dude. All right, God bless. Smash.